Today we will discuss Bayesian network, but just before going for the further discussion, let's just see that what is actually the reason of covering up this topic. अब इससे पहले अगर हम देखें, previously we covered a naive based classifier topic, and here it is, in which we were actually having a data set that was used, ठीक है, that was consisting of a number of independent classes and variables that were used in order to predict that either हमें loan देना चाहिए to that person or not. But what we noticed in that each and every variable was actually within that was independent. It was not depending upon any of the other variable. But what in case अगर हमारे पास कोई ऐसी situation आ जाए that the variable would be depending upon the other one, so how we would sort that particular problem. So for that we would be going through this Bayesian network, और ये चीज़ अगर आप देखा जाए quite in detail, that is covered within your data mining subject. So let's just go for the further discussion. Okay, this network topology, Bayesian network based, is actually a directed acyclic graph that consists of two major things. First one is actually the node. These nodes are actually the random variables. So let's just suppose we have got two variables x and y, and the link, ठीक है, that directed link, ठीक है, हम इसमें कह सकते हैं, और an arc, if I just make it like this, that it's going from x to y. What this actually, the arrowhead is actually showing us that this particular x variable has got a direct influence on variable y. तो ये इसकी बेसिस पे हम देख सकते हैं दैट इन केस जैसे हमने प्रोबेबिलिटी देखी थी, दैट प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ y, अगर हम उसे उस बेसिस पे बताएं, सो दैट वुड बी प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ y गिवन x से इन केस x इवेंट होगा तो इवेंट y होने के चांसेस हैं. दिस इज एक्चुअली इट्स describing, and then each and every node within that particular network consists of a CPT, or you can say a conditional probability table, each and every node. So for that we will discuss the classical example that is given within your book as well, and that is a burglar alarm at home. But उससे पहले हम एक और चीज़ देख लेते हैं, how we would be sorting that. So for that we would be using that naive Bayes and conditional probability और joint probability की basis पे होगा. तो अगर हम इसकी joint probability distribution की example ले लेते हैं, जब we have got three of the variables a, g and m, and over here we can see, ठीक है, this a, if this particular a event is happening, then either the event can happen or m can happen. और यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं that this a node is actually a parent node, and if this is occurring, then particular j or m node case will occur. तो यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं this particular a node अगर होगा, this is actually the parent node and this is actually the independent node, क्योंकि ये किसी और particular node के होने पर depend नहीं कर रहा है. but while for j it is depending upon this particular a node, that in case if this thing will happen, तो हमारे पास possibility है of j or either m. तो अगर हम joint probability distribution के factor की basis पे देखें, how it would be done, that would be probability of, अगर हम पूरे overall देखें, so that would be probability of a, j and m, ठीक है. so अगर हम इसे further, अगर मैं इस further formula को expand करूँ, how that would be expanded, probability of a, why it's actually probability of a, because I can see this node a is actually an independent variable, it's not depending upon any of the further node. हाँ, in case अगर होता तो that was something else, ठीक है. so that's why it's only probability of a multiplied with the probability of j. अब यहाँ पे हम देख सकते that node variable j node occurrence is actually depending upon this particular node a, so that would be written as probability of j given that a. Same would be the case for this particular m node, and that is multiplied with the probability of m given that a. so here it is. हाँ, in case अगर हम ये चीज़ देख लेते कि इसके ऊपर भी हमारे पास सपोज x एंड y इवेंट होता, एंड दिस वाज एक्चुअली, ठीक है, कि अगर x इवेंट अगर हो रहा है एंड देन वी वर एक्चुअली गेटिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर इवेंट ऑफ j. So in that case we will only describe within that given set, और वो जो probability conditional हमें दिख रही है within this joint probability, तो हमने सिर्फ parent node ही को बताना है, not these grandparents, ठीक है. And I can write this particular formula in this way as well, क्योंकि ये हमने शुरू में probability के section में cover किया था. So here it is, and how we would be using that हम आगे proper example के साथ देख लेते हैं, and we will cover this conditional probability as well in that. So let's just come for an example. Here is an example of an alarm भी, ठीक है, that is actually set up in your home, and that alarm, ठीक है, A is for actually the alarm, and that alarm will ring in case if there is the incident of burglary or in maybe an earthquake, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं that the alarm is actually dependent upon the event of either a theft or burglary case or an earthquake. in case अगर इसमें से कुछ होगा तो ही वो अलार्म रैंक करेगा. and just suppose you have just said that ये two of your neighbors, that if the alarm will ring at my home, kindly do just inform me about that. and Jane, ठीक है, कुछ भी आप consider कर लो, that Jane or maybe Junaid would inform you or call you in case if he will hear the alarm, and same would be the case for Mohammed, that अगर कोई alarm अगर rang हुआ, so he would be calling you and informing you about that particular incident. and for that we have already got the predefined values for each and every node, like probability of B would be this, probability of E because it's 0.002. हाँ, इन केस अगर हम आगे फर्दर फाइंड करना चाहें तो वो कैसे करें, वो भी हम आगे साथ साथ एग्जांपल में देखते जाएंगे. बट ओवर हियर वी कैन सी दैट probability in case the alarm will ring, it's actually dependent upon these two variables B and E. in case तो यहाँ पे अगर देखा जाए that is actually showing us the conditional probability factor. so for that, और हम ये भी देख सकते हैं कि either alarm rang मे बी burglary का केस हुआ हो, not of an earthquake. what in case earthquake का हुआ हो, not of burglary. तो इस केसेस को हम किस तरह से देख सकते हैं, each and every event has actually got two possibilities, either that would have occurred or maybe it has not occurred. तो हम ये दोनों चीज़ें cover कर लेंगे within this. so you can see a probability of A, actually this is showing us the probability of A given that B comma E. तो ये हमारे उसके बेसिस पे ये probability की values आई हुई हैं within this table. तो यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं, अब यहाँ पे हमारे इसका है that maybe the alarm rang due to both of these two cases, it's true. so for that the probability is this one. अब यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि मे बी burglary का केस हुआ हो, मे बी burglary का केस हुआ हो बट नॉट ऑफ एन अर्थक्वेक, मे बी इस वजह से वो रैंक किया हो, तो उसकी क्या probability हो रही है. सेम विल बी द केस, मे बी अर्थक्वेक की पॉसिबिलिटी थी बट नॉट ऑफ दिस थेफ्ट केस, सो दैट इज़ 0.29. एंड what in case अगर कुछ हो कोई और बात की वजह से, तो और मे बी दोनों केसेस ना हो, और मे बी आपके किसी जस्ट फॉर सपोज ऐसे हो कि कोई भी है नेबर, उसको जैसे फॉर सपोज ऐसे इमेजिन किया हो, या मे बी उसकी कोई रिजम्बल बेसिस करते हुए कुछ टोन वगैरह कुछ सुनी हो. सो इन दैट केस में भी बोथ फॉर बोथ दीज टू केसेस ऐसा कुछ हो नहीं. सो इफ़ इट्स फॉल्स तो बहुत कम ऐसे चांसेस होंगे. सो यू कैन सी इसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी कम है. सो दैट इज़ 0.001. दिस इज सपोज which we are considering for this. same would be the case for this कि either अब हम देख सकते कि जुनैद ने अलार्म सुना है तो वो हमें कॉल बैक करेगा, नहीं है तो फिर मे बी हो सकता है मे बी हमें कोई कन्फ्यूजन हो गई हो और समथिंग लाइक दैट, और मे बी किसी ने उसी तरह की अलार्म रखा हो, मे बी अ मोबाइल टोन और समथिंग. तो इन केस सेम वुड बी द केस फॉर मोहम्मद कि अगर उसने अलार्म टोन सुना है एंड देन ही वुड बी इन्फॉर्मिंग यू. सो फॉर दैट इट्स ट्रू और फॉल्स के लिए क्या है, दिस इज़ हाउ यू वुड बी गेटिंग द वैल्यू. So let's just see that how we would be using this. I hope this concept is clear to you. So the very first question which we have got is this one. हम साथ साथ देखते जाते हैं, ठीक है. According to that joint probability which we just covered right now, हमने उसमें ये चीज़ देख ली थी, ठीक है. We are using this particular for this case, but यहाँ पे हम क्या consider कर रहे हैं that Junaid Muhammad have heard the alarm but that is not, ठीक है, but the reason behind that is either ना तो burglary का केस हुआ है ना ही earthquake basis पे कुछ है, but they have heard it. So how you would be defining it? So for that is J and M, ठीक है, J and M, and then same for this particular A, no, ठीक है, not B, because हम ये consider करें that it has not appeared because of this particular reason, neither of that. तो इसे हम किस तरह से फाइंड आउट करेंगे, यूजिंग द जॉइंट प्रोबेबिलिटी सेक्शन फार्मूला. तो हम उसी बेसिस पे देखेंगे कौन सा किस पे डिपेंडेंट था, एंड देन वी विल फर्दर एक्सपैंडेड. सो वी कैन सी दिस पर्टिकुलर j variable is dependent upon a, so that would be probability of j given that a. Same is the case for m, so in that case that is also dependent upon a. so हमारे पास क्या आ जाएगा केस, that would be probability of m given that a. Okay, and then we have got the probability of alarm, and that could either, ठीक है, तो इसके हमारे पास दो पेरेंट्स हैं, and that could be either because of variable b or e. So in that case it would be probability of a given b, not b not e. Why? Because हम यहाँ पे दोनों conditions को false consider कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. And then same would be the case for these two independent variables, but in this case it's actually false. So that will be into probability of not b multiplied with the probability of not e. So here it is. मैंने values इसलिए पहले से calculate करी कि calculation में कोई mistake ना हो. So let's just put these values according to the CPT table which is given to us. So first of all we have to see the value of probability of j given that a. So it means that alarm has ranked, this condition is true for us, and Junaid would be informing us. तो इसकी probability थी हमारे पास क्या थी within that table, that was 0.90. so here it is 0.90. Same would be the case for Muhammad, and the condition of alarm has rang was true, so that is 0.70. so here I got this, it's 0.70, and then into probability of a given that not b and not e. ठीक है, तो अब हम ये values किस तरह से find out करेंगे भाई. Let's just see this. Okay, so for this what we will do is, again we have to see the table, that probability of alarm has ranked, but both of these two statements are false. So here it is within the table, we can see that both of these two kind of statements are actually false, so that probability is 0.001. so here I got it, that is 0.001. okay, now how I can find out this false probability, because हमारे पास table में तो जो values given थी that was for the true condition. तो इस case में we have gone for this formula before as well, which was probability of not a equals to 1 minus probability of a. तो हमारे इस केस में क्या होगा, that is probability of not b should be equal to 1 minus probability of b. so that case we have got the value which is 1, here it is 1 minus 0.001, and that will give us the output of 0.999. ठीक है, same would be the case here for this formula, but वो हमारे पास क्या हो जाएगा, probability of not e equals to 1 minus probability of e, and in that case we will get 1 minus 0.002, and that would be equal to 0.998. so if I put all of these values within this formula, जो कि मैं आपको बता चुकी हूँ, that is 0.999, and for this it's 0.998. so that will give us the probability of 0.00628. okay, so we are done with this. अब हम ये देखते हैं कि how we will actually find out the probability. I hope you are done with this joint distribution factor. okay, so our next task is to solve or to find out the probability of j according to the question which was that ठीक है, the alarm has ranked. we can see कि आपने ये बताना है कि what is the probability that Junaid would be informing you for that, और वो हमने देखा that is actually dependent upon this particular node a. So for that, what you will do, you have to introduce all of the j's predecessor. Junaid would be calling that either alarm has ranked into probability of a plus with the summation of, अब हमारे पास देखा कि that was actually dependent upon this case, तो अब वो मे बी इसी बेसिस पे है या नहीं है, probability of j given that not a into probability of not a again. ठीक है, so if I again put the values within this particular table, तो वो हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, probability of j given that a, ये चीज़ तो हमारे पास स्टेटमेंट में गिवन थी, विच आई जस्ट टोल्ड यू राइट नाउ दैट जुनेद वुड बी कॉलिंग, दिस इज़ द ट्रू स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है, तो फॉर दैट इफ़ आई अगेन जस्ट टेल दिस टेबल दैट जुनेद वुड बी कॉलिंग, एंड फॉर दैट ऑब्वियसली हमने देखा कि द कंडीशन इज़ ट्रू, तो हमने सारे प्रीडेसेसर्स देखने हैं. सो इन दैट केस इट वुड बी 0.90. सो हियर इट इज़, it's actually 0.90 multiplied with the probability of a. So how you will find out the probability of a? अब probability of a भी हम इसी तरह से find out करेंगे as we are going for this particular problem. So here it is, probability of a अगर हम find out करें, that would also be done within the same way, but over here it was only depending upon one variable, but यहाँ पे हमारे पास देखा हमने it's actually dependent upon two variables, that is b and e. So for that case हमारे पास क्या होगा, probability of a would be equal to probability of a given that b comma e. So if I further just expand this formula according to this, so that would be probability of a given that b comma e into probability of b and e. मैं साथ ही आपको बता देती हूँ that over here आगे हमने देखना है कि सारी की सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ देखनी है हमने, that either ये चीज़ हुई भी है या नहीं. So I for that I have to see all of these two cases, that either the alarm has rang due to this theft case or maybe due to an earth case. तो हमें दोनों true false false true false false सारी conditions को consider करना है. So here it is, according to this conditional probability formula I am just putting the values, then summation with the probability of a given that not b comma e into probability of not b and e. ये मैंने कैसे किया, मैं आपको दोबारा से दिखा देती हूँ. लेट्स जस्ट सी वेयर आई जस्ट केप्ट इट. यस, on the basis of this I'm actually putting the values, क्योंकि अब हमारे पास यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है, I have got two variables as the parent. तो हम यहाँ पे अगर मैं इसको two variables के basis पे consider कर लूँ, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा, probability of a given that b comma c into probability of b and c, or that could be written in this way as well, क्योंकि इनकेस कि हाँ ये उसके ऊपर कोई डिपेंडेंट नहीं है. सो दैट वुड बी probability of a given that b comma c into probability of b multiplied with the probability of c. ठीक है, so here it is for the condition in which it's true and earthquake statement is false. So same is the case for here. Likewise हम इसी तरह further सबके लिए expand कर लेंगे, and then I have further independent variables. Say we just saw that since b and e are actually the independent variables, तो मैंने उसे इसी तरह से further expand कर लिया. Now if I put the values within this particular formula, let's see that how I actually place the values. So for probability of a given that b comma e, I can see that both of these two statements are true. ठीक है, कि that has occurred, and the alarm has also ranked. For this we have got all of the true statements. ठीक है, so for that the value is for true statements, that is 0.95. so here it is, and then I have to multiply it with the probability of b and e, जो कि मैंने यहाँ पे further expand भी कर लिया. So if I place the values over here, वो हम आगे देखते हैं जाते हैं, but here the values are given to us, that is 0.001, and for probability of e it's 0.002. So multiplied with the probability of 001, and then probability for e is 0.002. ठीक है, likewise I have to do for all of the others, and then let's just see probability of a given that not b comma e, and that value is actually, मैं यहाँ से डायरेक्ट यहाँ पे values आपको बताते जाती हूँ, ये तो हो चुका है. ये that is actually for that b statement is false, e is true. So b is false, e is true, and that is 0.29. Here it is, that is 0.25. I just made the mistake here. that is 0.25. ठीक है. Okay, now let's just see that how I have to find the value of probability of not b. तो ये हम पहले कर चुके थे और दोबारा से मैं आपको बता देती हूँ. According to this formula, that probability of not b is equal to 1 minus probability of b, and that is actually equal to 0.999. So here it is, and then for this it's actually the true statement, so I place this value. Now just see for the third one, probability of a given that b not e, so it means b should be true, e should be false. B is true, e is false, so the value is 0.95. Here it is 0.95. Again for true statement it's 0.001. here I got it, but for e it's the false statement, हमारे पास true में थी. So again I will find the value according to this particular formula, and that is equal to 0.998. here I got it. Now the last one, probability of a given that not b comma not e. So for this the probability is 0.001. here I got it, and both of these two variables are actually false. और तो इसकी values हम already find out कर चुके थे. So here I would place it within this particular formula, and after multiplication and summation I will get the probability of a to be equal to 0.00252. So here I just placed this value over here. Here I got it. Now let's see for the other one, जिसमें हमने देखना है. We are done with the true statement, but the false one is left. So for that we need to find out probability of j given that not a. Probability of j given that not a, ठीक है, that alarm has actually, ठीक है, Junaid would be calling, but actually the alarm has not rang, so that is 0.05. so here I got it, plus 0.05, and then again I have to find out the probability of not a, and we will find out this probability in a same way as we did for the probability of a, but simply what will happen, यहाँ पे हमारे पास alarm की condition true थी, but in this case I would make it false. Same is the process of this probability of not a formula as we just made for probability of a, like probability of a given that b not e. सारी possible चार statements देखनी है. So यहाँ पे अब हमने एक चीज़ देखते जाएं. देखिए true true, again false true, true false, false false, ठीक है, ये सारी values हम इसमें लेंगे. बट एक चीज़ यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो change हो रही है, that is actually this one. The probability was true over here for alarm, but now we have got which is false. So how we would place these values? Simply what you have to do, again the simple work, you have to subtract it by 1, and then you would be getting that particular value. But for these two you have already got the value from that particular graph of this problem, which is 0.001 into 0.002. and for false statement हमने already find out कर ली थी, वही value हमने दोबारा से place करनी है, which is 0.999. here it is. And we also did for probability of not e, which is 0.998. so here I got it, 0.998. जो false statements थे उस पे place कर दी सारी values in the same way as we did for probability of a. Simply this condition has changed, so that will give you the output of 0.9974. and after placing this value within this formula, जो कि हम probability of j के लिए हमने define किया था, I will get the output of 0.00521 for this probability of j. This is how the probability is found out. मेन हमने जो शुरू की क्लासेस में कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी और जॉइंट प्रोबेबिलिटी का फैक्टर देखा था, इट्स कम्प्लीटली डिपेंडेंट अपॉन दैट पर्टिकुलर लेक्चर. बस ये है कि आप इन चीज़ों को सही से आइडेंटिफाई कर लो कि दिया क्या है, सो दैट कुड बी डन ईजली. आई होप इट्स क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.